Welcome to another horrid, despicable, abominable, socially unacceptable episode of the apocalypse. The end is nigh, the time is at hand. It doesn't matter if you believe it or agree, or want it or don't. The time is nigh. Everyone must choose, no one can sit the choice out. There are but two choices or two paths. Path one, God, Jesus Christ, decency, fairness, the law. Path two, the imp, the antichrist, the false prophet, the apocalypse, plague, the wrath of God, Armageddon, the lake. Choose now. Congratulations, you have chosen the apocalypse. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, and I mean that sincerely, I happen to be your guide, your humble guide. Nicholas, so good to see you again, and it is a pity that I am necessary. For I wish I were not necessary. I wish I were still by the lake, in repose, enjoying the warm breeze. But I was called here for you. For you have chosen the apocalypse. Congratulations. Donnie, it appears, is just simply nakedly in all of our faces on the bloody grift. No more hiding, no more facade. Donnie's at the point now where he's buying stock in companies immediately before he is rendering judgment upon them. But in this example here, only roughly about 200 people had to die for this. A worthy sacrifice for the grift, wouldn't you say? And you paid for it. You paid for the thugs, the hand of Satan, the hand of the Antichrist, to go down to a body of water called the Caribbean, using your military that you pay for to kill 200 people on land and in the water for this. Ron Filipkowski. The first sale of Venezuelan oil went to a guy who donated $6 million to Trump. The proceeds are now in a bank in Qatar. Yeah, that's how naked the grift is. Donnie just selling stolen oil that he murdered 200 people for. Kidnapped the leader of a country. Stole 3 tankers. And now it appears he sold a bunch of oil to one of his buddies that already gave him millions of dollars. First U.S. sale of Venezuelan oil, that would be stolen oil. 200 people had to die for this, and a peace prize had to be handed over. Goes to Vitol. Its trader donated to Trump's re-election campaign. That's great. And the money goes right in a shady-ass bank in Persia. that the United States has no reach. Only Donnie does. And he's doing it all for us, right? Rubes, you cunts. He's doing it for America, right, Rubes? That's why the money's in goddamn Qatar, right? You fucking Mark idiots. This is how naked it is right in our face now. Stolen oil, killed 200 people, used your money to do that and your soldiers to do that. We'll use your soldiers for security down there for as long as necessary. You'll pay that bill as well. So he could sell their oil that he stole, not for America, for his goddamn self, and put the money in Qatar. Because I don't know if you thought about this. I think about everything. At some point, the shit's going to hit the fan. Donnie's going to have trillions of dollars that he grifted, stole from his oil, from you marks when he loots the treasury, which he's been doing the whole time, till that's empty. When the shit hits the fan, and he has to maybe flee somewhere, move his throne over to Israel, wherever, to get away from all of us, he's going to have that Qatari bank account and stuff like that. That's if we ever even get that far. Before this is all over. But believe me, that idea, that contingency has been well planned out, and that is why the money will go into accounts that no one can get to. Again, you understand your country's over. This empire is over. We had a good run, right? And then a bunch of dumbass rubes just gave it away. The end of the empire on a silver platter to the devil. It's gone forever, son. That's what you cunts have done. All the people that have died for this land, you made their sacrifice for nothing. Simply because you exist. What a goddamn shame that is. You can tap that out in granite, too. It's fucking over. And there ain't no chance of it ever coming back. That's what you've done. And much worse. But I won't go into that right now. That's enough, isn't it? Even if that were the only price you morons and the rest of us had to fucking pay. That would be enough. That'd be devastating enough. That'd be horrible enough. Because of you cunts. Not just you. The greedy at the top that know better. But they wanted tax cuts. Was tax cuts worth the lake, cunts? At the top? It better be, because your ass gonna burn. Because just like the peasant rube at the bottom, who will burn with you. Because they will take the mark. It's pretty much a foregone conclusion, isn't it, at this point? They voted for a convicted felon and a pedophile. For fuck's sake, and that's the really short list of his qualifications. I hope that 40th home you buy was worth your soul with your vote for the goddamn Antichrist. What you little children in search of kingdoms don't understand, didn't see coming, don't give a fuck about. Your portfolio is all that matters. I know. I know. Is it worth burning for? And I'm not talking about you burning for being greedy, son. Everybody's goddamn greedy. Pretty much. I'm talking about you burning because you endorsed, preached the gospel of, for your benefit, of the devil, of the Antichrist. To the point the empire's over. to the point the world's over. In other words, your portfolio ain't going to be worth jack shit. Because this empire's going down. How do I know? This right here. That the president, in quotes, can murder 200 people, take a nation's oil, sell it for his own personal gain, put the money in a Qatari bank account. That's how I know it's over. Jimmy Kimmel offers to let Trump have one of his trophies if he will pull ICE out of Minneapolis. And here's Kimmel showing his trophies that Donnie can pick from. Since Donnie likes to take credit for other people's achievements, and Donnie just wants the trophy, he doesn't care how. And remember, Donnie tried to literally get this man fired personally, and they tried to do it. And then the public started canceling subscriptions to everything. Anything associated with this channel that tried to fire this man for the orange-faced demon. It was an amazing thing to watch, actually. Not that he really needed the help. He would have been fine money-wise for the rest of his life. But it was nice to see him get the help. People stand up for him. And it's the principle. But not everyone's getting the benefit. Other people have been fired and will be fired. This man got lucky for some reason. You people jumped in a real fucking way. And I mean quickly. Those companies saw millions of dollars disappear like overnight. They got fucking scared. They're one of the lone, or it was one of the lone moments where a major organization that really wanted to go along and tried to had to reverse course immediately. That's how scared you fucking made these motherfuckers. That don't happen often. A lot of people have disappeared on the word of Donnie Shitbags from companies, entertainment, etc. We all know it. We watch it every day. So don't forget, among, the a million abominations, I forget a lot of them. There's so many. That's also how I know it's all over. He's the Antichrist in everything I say. I've never seen a pace like this. I can't even remember it all. To rattle off all of his crimes, grifts, etc., it would take a century for me to speak it all out loud. Rapes, murders, whatever category you want to look at. The pace, man. Never seen nothing like it. So don't forget, he tried to get that man fired. They did fire him for a minute. And then all of you canceled every goddamn subscription to any business even remotely associated with that action. And you really made him reverse course. That was really one of the few moments I was impressed. And I was like, wow. People really made something happen right there. And in the face, again, everyone else is bending the knee, laying tribute at his feet, doing anything they can to go along with this thing. And again, the company wanted to, they tried. Only because of you people. That's the only reason that man's still on television. I just can't understand how Trump feels no embarrassment over accepting someone else's prize. Right, a normal human would feel shame for even asking for it, for even insinuating, for orchestrating the whole thing behind the scenes. And I'm going to give you proof that he did that in a minute. So Miss Machado, Princess Leia, who was hoping this would get her the queenship of Venezuela, got nothing. She did get a photo with Donnie. Not even a few minutes on camera. Just a quick photo. Thanks, honey. She got one other thing, too, I didn't know about yesterday. One photo. She got a goodie bag. And here she is carrying it out. Donnie probably has those all over the place in the White House, you know. Something to give that someone else paid for, of course. Give to people. So, yeah, come on over, honey. Oh, you got the... Let's just take a quick photo. Okay, there's a goodie bag over on the table. Take one and, you know, have a good day. Thanks for stopping by, honey. Unfucking believable. It gets even more embarrassing for Machado. She went to the White House to give Trump her medal and left with a Trump merch bag. Yeah, we used to call them goodie bags. I was in the convention business for a while. And companies would do shit like that. Like we would have a movie convention, which was pretty big at the place I worked. And they would come every year. And it was a Trump property. Quite a largest one at the time. Largest casino at the time. I believe the convention was called Show East or something like that. Or is that the other one? I can't remember. Show East might have been the naughty one. But hold on, I can't remember. Because they had those there too. My God. A quick... No, you know what? I can't tell that story on camera. Never mind. Sorry. I can't tell that. So it was a standard movie convention. You'd have directors, fucking, you know, some bigwigs in the industry. They would have reels of new movies with security, like, walking with them because the shit's worth, like, millions of dollars if someone stole it, got their hands on it, copied it, whatever they, you know. So they would show, you know, some pieces of new movies that normal people wouldn't get to see at these conventions, and they would have the big goodie bag. The Surf Expo used to come to Atlantic City. They would give out goodie bags as well, full of different, you know, keychains, little surf company stuff. That was like heaven when we were young teenagers. Me and my one friend, my brother. To get in the Surf Expo was like, you know, getting into heaven. Anyway, the convention people, the different businesses used to give out bags like that, full of little goodies. That's what she walked away with. It seems like an even trade for a Nobel Peace Prize, right? She hands over the Nobel. She walks out with a fucking goodie bag and a, thanks for stopping by, honey. Now fuck off. I'm busy grifting here. Thanks for the trophy. Take one of them bags over on the table that someone else paid for. Holy shit, man. Here's Donnie. I don't know, at some event today, I believe. Or maybe it was yesterday. I don't... All I know is these are new clips that I saw today. Sometimes an event will happen the prior day and the clips don't come out till the following day for the people that do the clips. I may put a tariff on countries if they don't go along with Greenland because we need Greenland for national security. I may do that. Now he's threatening our allies with, I'm going to tariff you if you don't let us have Greenland. I watched more footage of Mr. Carney today from Canada, the Prime Minister. I told you about how he said that New World Order thing. I don't know if you remember. And the reason I watched the footage of him today is because I want to see if what I saw yesterday is still there. Something seems off with Carney. He's usually very articulate, clear-spoken, on point. He's that kind of guy. Smart. Sharp. Something happened. Something has that man shook. I mean shook. I don't know what it is. Maybe he knows he's about to go to war with the United States. Maybe that, I don't know. He knows something. He's not telling. It's not something he can tell the public. He was speaking and he wasn't articulate. He wasn't smart. He was stumbling. He was having problems. Something is fucking with his head. Logically, when I look at it all, I come away with he knows something, and it's fucking big, and it's bad, and it's fucking up his composure. Big time. And I'm really worried about what it is. Because that ain't a man that gets rattled easily. That's a highly educated, articulate, very intelligent man. He's an excellent political candidate. He was an excellent choice for Canada, in my opinion. I am envious. But something happened to him recently. I don't know what it is, and it's got him fucked up. And I'm worried about what he knows that I don't. Because it's real. He knows something. And it's fucking up his composure. And that worries me because, again, I know he's not a weak-minded. He's not that kind of person that gets scared easy, that gets shook easily like that. He wasn't right in that footage today. Breaking news, Trump signs more pardons, freeing a fraudster for the class second time. Already pardoned this person once for fraud, pardon them again for fraud. Again, what if we pictured a world where the Antichrist showed up? What's one of the things the Antichrist might do? Let all the evil people out of prison for money. And it doesn't matter who or what they did. If they got the, money, they get a pardon. They get out of jail. In other words, locking up the innocent people, targeting and going after innocent people, allowing the criminals out of prison for a profit. That's what you're seeing. By the minute he put Ed Martin on it, that's his only job, is to do pardons, which means, again, some criminal's lawyer calls Ed's office. Hey, Ed, how you doing? How much it going to cost to get my client out to Slammer? Get a pardon. What we got to do here? $2 million Donnie's crypto account. Whatever the process is, that's what that man's doing. You understand that? This is a criminal he pardoned twice, son. That's how crooked this cunt is. Again, whenever I search for any doorway, any path that shows me or screams or that says, this guy is not the Antichrist, it ain't what you think it is, I can't find one, and I really want to find one. That's the problem I keep having. This man, it's open, everyone knows. Every criminal out there, if you got a couple million or $1 million or what, you can get the fuck out of jail. Every criminal knows this now. All they got to do is call Ed Martin's office. Twice, son. Twice. The same person. CNN, Miss McLaughlin again. What do you say to the people who watch these videos and worry Minnesota is becoming a police state? McLaughlin, there's a lot of fear-mongering going on by the media. Again, all this footage is being taken by citizens, and we watch it, and we watch the police state being built second by second, act by violent act by the Gestapo, and that's why they're there. They're there to sow chaos, murder, all that great stuff. A big setup for the martial law that's coming. That's what they're looking for here. The media has nothing to do with it. And we keep getting cunts from the right that just keep on coming on. Holman, this bitch. It's what the media is saying. That's the problem. No, it's the murder. It's the pepper spraying babies. It's the deploying gas canisters that end up poisoning 6-month-olds to the point they need CPR or they're going to die. It ain't the media. The media ain't taking the footage of these events. Citizens are for the most part. And every day we got to watch one of these cunts, including Miss McLaughlin, come blame the media as they sit there in the media seat using their channel to dispense their goddamn propaganda born of Satan. Let me correct you, they are watching these videos and using their independence of mind. Right, that's all that's happening. McLaughlin, no, actually it's the media. That's the big response from the Reich. It's the media. No, it's the murder, cunt, destined for the lake. You know, the woman you shot in the face. Now you're an apologist for that. Now you're abetting. Now you're aiding. I thought that was a crime. Hiding a murderer and then lying about it so the cops don't get him. I thought that was a crime you could go to prison for. On the right, it's Friday. Standard. That was one of the biggest priorities, getting him out of the state, getting him away from anyone that could arrest him. Not condolences. Get the murderer whisked away so the Reich doesn't have to face any, accountability. Not that anyone would have had the balls to arrest him anyway. I ain't seeing nobody. But that was priority one. Covering it up, getting a narrative together, calling her a terrorist. That was priority two. After they murdered her. And that's the exact type shit the Reich's looking for. Some fat, worthless cunt that's going to burn so hot you can't even fathom it. Shooting a lesbian live on camera for the whole Rube world to see and cheer on. Yeah, that's exactly what they were looking for. That's what you cunts been talking about since I've been born. And before that. Okay to shoot people we don't like. Gays, lesbians, ethnic minorities. You know what I'm talking about. You Klan members. It's nice to see the press at least starting to stick up for themselves a little bit and reality a little bit. Not that that was much of an effort. Let me correct you. They are watching these videos and using their independence of mind. In other words, it's not the media. Tiny bit of pushback. That's something, I guess. For the right wing to own CNN now. Donnie again at the event. And Donnie says, I'm the tariff king, and the tariff king has done a great job. No, he's done a horrible job. And he's the grift king, not the tariff king. And you know what? I think I want the world to end just for one thing, one reason. So I don't have to hear the goddamn word tariff ever again in my fucking life. I hate you cunts for the fact that for 10 years straight, every single day, I've had to hear the word tariff and about tariffs from this fat orange cunt with a diaper and a load of shit in it. Up to this minute, we've got to hear the word tariff and about tariffs. And the lies, when it's all been a personal grift just for him, nothing else, ever. That's why he loves them so much. They're for him. It's his favorite word, remember, cunts? That I gotta hear 90 times a day. Another reason number 1,019,019, I fucking despise you. Yes, let the world explode. So at the very least, I don't have to hear the word fucking tariffs again. Thanks to you cunts. Here's more context on the picture with Princess Leia, where she handed over her Nobel. And my God, just like when you add more context to a clip of them speaking, or Donnie giving a statement, it gets worse. Infinitely worse. All that fucking hideous Lowe's trim painted fucking gold, whatever the fuck that is. What in the fucking just... This is CNN, and I'm surprised the press is bringing this up. About the Nazi slogans and fonts that are being used right in our fucking face. And everyone knows they're Nazi slogans. They're not really trying to hide it. In fact, they're trying to show it. Facade dropping, like I said. CNN, there's an ICE recruiting poster that says, "We'll have our home again." That phrase has ties to white nationalist groups. Even if that's not intentional, do you denounce this? This is McLaughlin again. She so reminds me of Donnie, my God. "We'll have our home again" is now a white nationalist dog whistle. There's no reason we should be manufacturing outrage. There are plenty of poems, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you, liar. Again, Leon does a fucking Nazi salute in our face. I didn't do a Nazi salute yesterday. I'm not on drugs. They put out literal posters in fonts and types from the 30s, 40s, 50s, from that era. The slogans directly from Hitler and the Reich. Posted by the government. And this phrase this person just brought up. Look, these are obvious Nazi phrases. Everyone knows what it is. You ask the Reich about it. We're not Nazis. They're not Nazi phrases. The media is manufacturing outrage. As they drop the facade, as they show you the literal Nazi slogans, pictures, ideas, in celebration of that old Reich, as they literally do it, present it to us, drop the facade, they say they're not doing it. And that the reporter is manufacturing outrage. 1984, inversion of reality, Nazi Germany, Adolf Hitler, Vlad Putin. Standard. That's all we're seeing here. Donnie giving a little interview. I had a great meeting by a person who I have a lot of respect for. She has respect, obviously, for me and our country, and she gave me her Nobel Prize. But I'll tell you what, I got to know her. I never met her before, and I was very, very impressed. This is a fine woman. Really? Is that why she showed up, left like shortly after with a goodie bag? Because she's so great and Donnie took time to get to know her? Nah, I don't think so. Amazing. That he even wanted the prize is a level of sickness I can't even describe to you. And it's a shame you don't know that. And you know who I'm talking to. Back to Miss McLaughlin. Jesus Christ, here we go. When Kristi Noem called this 37-year-old mother of three a domestic terrorist, that really was outrageous. McLaughlin, in no way is that outrageous. She used her car as a deadly weapon. No, she didn't. The cop used his gun. The Gestapo used his gun as a deadly weapon. That's all that happened. Blitzer, she was driving by after dropping off her 6-year-old boy at school. McLaughlin, that simply is not true. I have the facts on the ground. Yeah, that is true. I was surprised to see Wolf Blitzer stick up for the murder victim. I wasn't expecting that. Again, flat out inverting reality. Oh, that's not true. She dropped her kid off at school. And calling the woman a terrorist, yeah, that's outrageous as fuck. No, it's a woman of a different ideology. It's a woman that would be on the list that the Rubes would want to shoot were they set loose without restrictions. Again, son, that's the difference between us. That's why you will burn and we will not. Although I despise you MAGA cunts. I do not have fantasies. I do not, on a routine basis, think about if I were allowed to be set loose by a dictator unrestrained of my political preference, I would get a gun and start shooting you people. That wouldn't happen with me. I have no desire to do it. I would like to be in a separate realm than you people. That will happen eventually. I wish it could happen now. But we ain't there yet. You haven't destroyed it enough yet. Don't worry, you will. But what I'm trying to say is, I know what you people think. You've made it quite clear. You don't hide it. And you just did it the other day. That guy did what you all want to do. That's why you vote this way, one of the main reasons. You believe in this philosophy. As you're all doing, many of those people en masse are Proud Boys, J6 people, white supremacists. I've seen the SS tattoos on some of them. They're you. They're the people that, if given permission, were set loose, unrestrained. They would kill the people they don't like, which they are literally doing right now. And so would you. And you know it. That is why you will burn. And those you want to kill will not, lest they take the mark. Because they don't want to go out and murder you. Because you are a different thing than them. But you do want to murder them, and you are doing it, and you have done it. And now a mob of your type of people have been set loose, unrestrained, on the population. One man's blind, multiple babies have been gassed and pepper sprayed. One woman shot in the face. They try and prosecute her partner now. They shot at a car today about 14 times. They're kidnapping people, including U.S. citizens. And that's as far as I'll go for now. That's the short list. That's how I know that if you were set loose, unrestrained, what you would do, exactly what the Gestapo's doing, that's what you would do. You're doing it. That's always been the difference. And you know, I've run in a lot of different circles throughout these excruciating 50 years. Different kinds of people, different beliefs, both worlds. And I notice that liberal type people, they don't sit around talking about killing Christians or MAGA or whatever. That really doesn't take place. Then I've been around right-wingers. That kind of talk does take place on a routine basis. That idea is laughed about. It's a big joke. It's funny. It's acceptable to say out loud. That's what the right-wing grift machine has done to this nation, and that happened way before Donnie. They have made that idea acceptable to say out loud. That murdering people of the opposite political persuasion or ideology than you is okay. We can talk about it at the dinner table. We can joke about it on TV. We can have dummies in our backyards with people's names on them or a political ideology on them and use them for target practice. This woman was flat out murdered on camera in front of all of us. And then the fat cunt called her a fucking bitch as her dead body rolled away in the car. And this cunt is saying, that's a lie, that didn't happen, she's a terrorist. I'm sorry, there ain't one human on this planet that could watch that footage and walk away honestly thinking she's a terrorist in any way, shape, or form. And you know it. You have your talking points. Spout them all the way to the lake. I'm sure that's what you will do. This guy, he did a little video. And it was only about 40 seconds, a minute. And he said, did you guys hear about the off-duty ICE agent that was busted by ICE? Because all they want are bodies, and good, probably 50% of those ICE agents are Latin. So according to this guy, and he's, I don't know, he didn't seem like he was joking or lying or anything. And it sounds logical to me. These are bounty hunters, scum, rapists, criminals, thieves, murderers, proud, you know, just lowest scum. Nazis with SS tattoos. I've seen it. So they're just looking for a body, man. They're just looking for a paycheck. Then there's just the regular dudes that just want to make a fat paycheck, and they don't care if they got to kill people, kidnap people, whatever they got to do. Sick individuals and criminals, literally. So it wouldn't surprise me at all that those Latin ICE agents would be out in public off duty and get picked up by other ICE agents that don't know them. That doesn't surprise me at all. So I believe this happened. You know what he said at the end of the video? And this is a Latin man who made the video of Latin descent. He said, once they're done with you, once you serve their purposes, I'm paraphrasing, they don't need you no more. Then you on the list too. I've been saying the same thing. All you ethnic minorities taking place in a white supremacist movement on any level, you're betraying your people, one. And you're going to be on the list on the back end. You understand that, right? In other words, the Nazi white supremacists didn't all of a sudden start liking Latin people. Didn't all of a sudden start liking black people. Didn't all of a sudden especially start liking Jews. I don't care what they say in public, because I see what they doing. And they walking around harassing black and Spanish people. And any American citizen that, yells at them, gives them any type of problem, they kidnapping that person too. So what this man was saying is something I've said so many times. If you're an ethnic minority helping out the white supremacists, one day they might not need you no more. And then you're on the list because of the color of your skin. That's it. And I have a feeling that ICE agent learned it the hard way. That's the danger of roundups based on ethnicity. I talked about it again over a year before the election. Even a Latin ICE agent can get grabbed by a nefarious scumbag just like him, looking for his $1,000 a body. That same mentality that they have, that they animate every day, can be deployed on them. If one of their masked compatriots while on duty sees you off duty from a distance, oh, he looks Latin, we can grab him. Betraying your people, one, and you could be the one getting rounded up later. I want to be real clear again. Everyone should know this by now. They're not hiding it. This is a white supremacist movement, a Nazi movement, literally just like Adolf Hitler. No one was acceptable lest you be white. That ideology did not change. Therefore, doctrine of Nazism is we hate all Latin people, we hate all black people, we hate all Jews, we hate all non-whites. That's it. So you may be the hand of it now, Mr. Ethnic Minority, ICE Agent, Gestapo. Later on, you might be on the list for the camps. Never forget that. McLaughlin again with Wolf on CNN. He had internal bleeding and was sent to the hospital. How do they even say this with a straight face? He had internal bleeding and was sent to the hospital. No, he didn't. Doctors say normally if you have internal bleeding, you wouldn't be released the same day. Can you give us more detail? Damn. Wolf getting all scientific on her ass. Yeah, internal bleeding's kind of serious. They don't just like in and out you with that shit, do they? McLaughlin, I haven't spoken to this individual's doctor. He was pretty banged up. We pray for him and his family. That's Donnie right there. That's what Donnie does. Donnie said she ran over the officer with her car. Remember his first initial gospel that he was preaching about that woman? She didn't try to run him over. She ran him over. Then some reporters threw some reality at him, some facts. Then he reduced the story back a little bit. Then he reduced it back a little bit. Oh, well, they were very disrespectful. Wait a minute ago you said she ran the fat fuck over. Now the story has gone from this to she was very disrespectful. It's okay to kill her. That's a window into Donnie's psyche that he would even say that. No politician would ever say that out loud. Because it'd be the end of their career. Because, the rights we have used to matter in this country, perception-wise. Not to you people. You see a dictator, you see your white supremacist utopia coming to fruition. You're cool with it. Don't worry, some of you are going to end up in camps. You won't be cool with it anymore. So her story went from internal bleeding. Now it's been reduced once Wolf hit her with it. Yeah, that sounds like bullshit. They don't just let you right out the hospital with internal bleeding now. Oh, well, he was banged up. Let's pray for the fam. Story got smaller. Within seconds. Mark of a liar. Every time, all day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Donnie does the same exact thing. She reminds me, she's a female Donnie, just younger. No difference. Here's Donnie again. We need Greenland for national security very badly. If we don't have it, we have a big hole in national security, especially when it comes to what we're doing in terms of the Golden Dome and all the other things. We have a lot of investments in military. There won't be any Golden Dome. That's just a way for Donnie to dip his hand in the treasury and take about $2 trillion. And it's obvious. We have the most advanced missiles in the fucking universe. There's no other missile system that's going to be better than what we have. And no, AI won't make it better. That's not what AI will be used for in the military. I'm going to show you in a moment what it will be used for, right after I take my break. Sorry to disappoint all 5 of you watching. 3 are probably bots. Not even human. I'll be right back. Okay. Let's take a quick sip of water here. All right. Fox and Friends. In spite of the Nobel Prize Committee saying you couldn't transfer your Nobel Prize to anyone, especially to President Trump, you did. Why did you do that? Because he deserves it. It was a very emotional moment. I want you to take note of, you've never heard Miss Machado say that Donnie's ended 8 wars. What did she say? He deserves it. It was emotional. They're asking Donnie why he would take the prize. Why would you want someone else's Nobel Prize? She offered it to me. I thought it was very nice. There's more to this. I'm introducing it slowly. So pathetic. Okay, again, this is why I hate you. This is what I knew you would do to the country if allowed. If this thing was allowed to continue, the orange-faced maniac, the Antichrist. 10 years ago, I knew we'd get here. Right what I'm about to tell you. This is a video of a neighborhood in Minnesota. At night. Peaceful, right? No problems, everything's cool. No, the Gestapo decided to do a night raid on this neighborhood. So what you hear in this video is a woman speaking in Spanish. And she is screaming at the top of her lungs to the neighborhood because she sees ICE moving in. The Gestapo, the murderers, the criminals, the agitators, the terrorists, which is what they were deployed for. Literally. Cruelty, evil, the devil, all over it. So she screams, they're here, close your doors, get inside, lock your doors, stay safe. This woman stays up to warn her neighbors. Again, when you listen to the video, it is quite chilling, and you just look at the darkness and you can see some people moving, and you hear this woman screaming at the top of her lungs. Like it's some dystopian nightmare movie. What you cunts destined for the lake, lest you turn away, have done. You have women in the middle of the night in their neighborhoods yelling out to their neighbors that the Gestapo is here to kidnap, possibly kill people. Who knows where it's going to go? We watched a murder live on TV of a U.S. citizen. Not that it matters to me. Still would have been a murder to me if it was an illegal alien. I wouldn't have cared who it was. You cunts and your orange antichrist have neighborhoods in America where women got to stay up and keep an eye out and warn their neighbors that the killers, the kidnappers, the rapists, the thieves are in their neighborhood. Close your doors, lock your doors, don't come out. You might get taken away and never seen again. That's America now. And son, We already way past the point where it only applies to illegal aliens, you goddamn cunts. They flat out stated on TV, the Reich did, several members, yeah, we're there to get other people too, not just illegals. Why I hate you? Why I despise you? Because I knew this is what you and your Antichrist would fucking do if allowed. You allowed it. Also knew it would be the end of this country and the world if allowed. You allowed it. You preach it. You love it. You have women terrified in this country. One of them's dead. You have whole neighborhoods under attack by gas and fucking mass Gestapo. People being kidnapped. Cars left running on the fucking street with no one inside. Landscaping equipment left running with no one behind it. American citizens getting taken in the hundreds. Women being brutalized by mass thugs in full fucking gear. Murdered, attempted murder. That woman they shot 5 times, I know exactly what happened. They hit her car. And they thought, we'll just kill her. And that way we get out of the whole situation, no problem. That's exactly what happened. That's why she got shot 5 times. That's the type of scum you're dealing with. And again, we watched one of them murder a woman. 3 or 4 shots fired. And then call her fucking bitch as her dead body roll away. So yeah, they hit that woman's car and they tried to kill her just to get rid of the whole situation. Literally. The other one they just flat out murdered. That's the type of scum, the type of evil, the type of goddamn lake fodder we're dealing with. That's not the slightest exaggeration or drama, what I just said. This is why I hate you. This is why the lake is your destiny. Lest you have an amazing, miraculous change of heart, but, you know, you vote for Donnie a 3rd time, I mean, I can't really see it. But, you know, I'm not God. Maybe something will happen for you. I doubt it, but maybe. Jim Stewartson, again, I talked about the technocracy map the other day for the 100th time. But there's another point that needs to be made today about it. So again, the technocracy map goes from Greenland down to the top portion of South America. That's what it looks like. Nazi scientists and Nazis came up with this. This is the gospel of Leon Scum, his daddy, his granddaddy, Petey Thale, Donnie, others. But this, what the technocrats, what all the other scum that are making this happen don't understand, son, is this won't be good enough for the beast or the devil. And that's what the fuck they dealing with. They all think they can control it. They can't. Donnie wants it all. They don't know that. They think there's a plan and he's going to stick to it. Nope. Did Adolf Hitler stick to the plan? Idiots. No, he didn't. He was a wild animal, uncontrollable, that brought his nation to fucking abject ruin. Abject ruin. The reason I'm repeating that is because we go in the same place, son. This Reich, they Nazis, what happened last time? So what's going to happen this time? Abject ruin for America. It ain't going to end no different than the last Reich. And you made it happen. And you know who you are. Holy shit, Elon Musk's grandfather was the Canadian head of Technocracy Incorporated and was arrested for being pro-Hitler in 1940. This was the map they wanted to create. The Technate of America. Look familiar. All the countries Donnie wants. Greenland, Canada, Mexico, Central America, and the top portion of South America. And Donnie taking more. He took the Holy Land too. They want the Suez. In other words, the technocrats aren't going to be able to keep this in check. And I read the definition of the technocracies. They promote the idea that the people they put in charge have nothing to do with votes, but their special skills and talents that they have. So this is why you get cunts like Thale, like Leon Scum, like that other jerk-off that was on coke that runs Palantir. I can't remember his name. Marks, whatever the fuck his name is. They walk around believing, because they've taken more welfare than all the single mothers that have ever lived. And the CIA, basically funded their businesses. They think they made it on talent. Oh, that's the other part of technocracy. Meritocracy, where the people in charge made it by their merits and skills. What have we been hearing from the Reich for fucking years now? Meritocracy, merit, etc. As if those unqualified cunts like Donnie, the entire cabinet, Leon, Pete, Thale, as if any of them have any skills. They're good at anything but lying, cheating, and stealing, and putting their hand out for more welfare from the socialists that they demonize every 2 seconds. They walk around believing that they made it on their merit, on their skills, on their abilities. Not a goddamn one of them did. Donnie was born filthy goddamn rich. So was Leon Scum. They've never had to work a real job. They got to be CEO on day one. On their daddy's money. And again, Thale, his business at one time, the only customer was the CIA, so God knows what he's did to get to that point where he could just put his hand out from the government and get so much welfare. I want to stress again, Leon, that Mark fucking fuckface, cokehead, Greasy Pete, they think they're the definition of the meritocracy. How can I say this? Meritocratorial leader. They think they're that definition, that they've made it to where they are because of how talented, skills on their merits. So they should get to be in charge. Voting isn't a concept we're interested in. I've never seen any more untalented douchebags than Pete Thale, Leon Scum, that Mark guy, Donnie Shitbags, JD Vance. I can't think of one thing they're actually talented at. And lying 100 times a day in service of whatever you're trying to achieve, that's not a talent. They're not good liars. They're horrible liars. They're not convincing liars. Can you think of one skill that Donald Trump has that's valuable? Leon, can you think of one skill that's valuable that he had? Greasy Pete, one skill that's valuable? The Mark Cokehead guy who couldn't sit in a chair? Do they seem like charming individuals? Do they seem like intelligent individuals? Not a one. You know what they seem like to me? Some people that weaseled their way into the right position so they could do this. Give me more billions of dollars, please. Socialists that I hate and want to kill. That Mark guy, huge welfare. Leon, huge welfare. Thale, huge welfare. Donnie inherited $400 million from his daddy and money laundered, and then when he got to be president, stole from the treasury and grifted. No talent there. Nothing valuable to society. 3 out of the 4, Donnie being one of them, of the 4, I mean. 3 out of the 4, excluding Donnie. I mean, just literally the only reason they're anywhere close to where they're at. Give me more of your tax money. Because I made it to the top of society because I'm talented on my merits. Not because you gave me millions in welfare. They believe it, and that's the technocratic leader definition. Based on merit and skill, we make you leader of whatever. Country, whatever it is, technocracy. I ain't seen talent in a damn one of them, have you? Zuckerberg? He stole an idea. That's it. I can't think of one, son. Wouldn't be surprised if Zuck got a big infusion of CIA cash too when he started this little thing, this idea he stole off. Once the CIA said to themselves, you know what? We could have these moron Americans just make dossiers for us. We don't have to tap their phone. We don't have to. They'll post it all on their Facebook. Their whole life, their political beliefs, their religious, everything. I truly wonder, did the CIA come up with the social media corner? Because there was a thing called MySpace and stuff like that before Facebook, right? I don't know anything about those websites prior to Facebook, by the way. I just know the names of them, a few. So I really wonder if that concept was a CIA invention. And the ones they put out did okay at first, but Facebook's the one that really made it a thing. Based on an idea stolen by some college kid. And then the CIA said, okay, this one's going places. Let's hit it with a bunch of cash. Let's have these idiots build these dossiers for real. This is the one that's going to take off. Just a thought, it would not surprise me. Facebook got huge overnight out of nowhere. You don't do that without cash. And the CIA could use, again, social media. My God, I mean, do you know what type of investigation CIA, as these security agencies, had to do on the American population to get all that information about people before the computer age? They would have killed somebody for all that info. That dossier that you literally make every single day for them. They don't need to tap your phone. Just look at your Facebook. That's all. Know everything about you. And you set it up for them. You wrote it all yourself. They didn't have to tap you. They didn't have to surveil you. Make inquiries. Right to your social media. Okay, the reason we're talking about technocracy again is because Donnie appointed a Palestinian technocratic government. So yeah, it's all going where I said, where Jim Stewartson said, technocracy, Nazism. It's real, son. Palestinian technocratic government. This isn't an idea anymore. This is what Donnie made happen. It's now happening. Not just a concept. As Steve Witkoff announced, we have officially entered the next phase of Gaza's 20-point peace plan. Since the ceasefire, my team has helped deliver record levels of humanitarian aid to Gaza, reaching civilians at historic speed and scale. Even the United Nations has acknowledged this achievement as unprecedented. Yeah, now that you want to build the resorts and the temple, of course you're helping the people. Of course you want everyone to be happy. Donnie isn't doing it because he gives a shit. These results have set the stage for this next phase. As chairman of the Board of Peace, I am backing a newly appointed Palestinian technocratic government. What does that mean, what I just said? That means Donnie is in charge of the Holy Land. He's literally setting policy and saying which government is okay and which government is not okay. When have we ever seen a president personally run, while being president, another territory like this? A president usually would negotiate with the countries and they would come up with a leader and all that. We've seen it play out a million times. Why is this different? Because see, the Antichrist, that's why it's fucking different. And all roads lead to the Holy Land. That's why it's fucking different. The National Committee for the Administration of Gaza, supported by the board's high representative to govern Gaza during its transition. These Palestinian leaders are unwaveringly committed to a peaceful future. Dottie's always afraid to name these people. Do you notice that? Probably because it's Jared Kushner. Whenever he talks about this, the post I read you yesterday or the day before, I've gotten the Board of Peace together. It's great. He didn't say what the Board of Peace was, what it had to do with, and who the members actually were. Yet he had chosen them. He doesn't want to say. He's afraid. Every time he brings this subject up for months and months, he doesn't really say who's going to be running shit. Here we are again in this next phase. He's still not saying he'll be running shit in this post. He doesn't want to. That means it's at a transparent obviousness, a level that Donnie does his usual routine where he just doesn't name the people. But what I want you to take away from this, once again, Donnie proving what I've been saying for months. Donnie runs the Holy Land now. He's telling you he's making the decisions. He's approving all this. And what is he approving? What's the plan? What's the idea? A Palestinian technocratic government. No votes required, based on merit and skill, I'm sure. That's who they'll pick, I'm sure. In other words, you could take a white Jewish man like Jared Kushner and put him in charge of, Palestine or Gaza or whatever, or Africa. That's what merit and skill-based really means in the leader. It doesn't matter what the country's laws or traditions are. We're better than you. We merit the privilege of being your leader, even though we're not from here. You didn't vote for us. You don't know us. We don't give a fuck about you. We're just better than you. Why? Because we're Nazis and we have white skin. That's why. That's what all those arguments, dressed in code language, like merit and skill-based. My God, the right wing has used that for a decade at least as code for white. Let alone in technocratic society. What that really means is fat, pasty, unskilled daddy's boys who would have never made it in the world without their daddy's money and without your welfare in the truckloads get to go whatever region of the world they feel like and be in charge. And no one has to vote for them. Why? We're technocrats. We do things by merit and skill. And the wishes of the country don't matter. We're better than you. We're Nazis. We're white. That's what they believe. That's what the definition of a technocratic leader is. Again, I must say, knowing all this was going to happen, again, I was telling you all this back in January. Doesn't make it any less depressing or enraging to watch it unfold and know, to the core of me, there ain't jack shit I can do about it. Or anyone can do about it. And that, God don't give a fuck either. He just gonna let it play out, son. Knowing all that ain't easy. And I know it. So yeah, seeing it all fall away, thanks to you cunts and the greedy. And Satan, piece by piece, day by day, and knowing, no, it's not going to stop. There's no miracle coming. There's no pause. There's no force of humans that's going to come up and stop this. There's no vote that's going to matter. There won't even be votes anymore. Technocrats don't believe in voting, son. Dictators don't believe in voting. Obvious by the coup. And the mass goons deployed against you at the, right now, who have absolute immunity to kill you on the goddamn street. We already watched it. And we watched them yell absolute immunity afterwards. It's over, man. No, the army's not going to step in and remove him. No. To the core of me, I know this. Again, why I despise you. So yeah, for the 5th time, knowing the technocratic government, digital coin, Bukele world was going to be the whole world, and that America would fall and a grifter would steal every dollar, and every worthless fuck with no talent, skills, anything, just total douchebags would take truckloads and truckloads of fucking welfare. It doesn't make it any less enraging to watch it all play out. And again, the thing I know that you people don't is why I've been yelling, why I've spent so much time on this so many years. It's going to play out. There's no stopping it. And it's going to go to the darkest of dark. That's what I need to do. I thought about that yesterday. I need to just read what happens to the people that take the mark. I can't do that right now, but again, we're at the point where Gaza is ash. Donnie created a board of peace, a commercial about a Trump Gaza resort with gold Donnie statues on the Holy Land. That was months ago. And now the board of peace has been formed. Donnie is at the head, of course. Who else would be? And a Palestinian technocratic government is taking over for what used to be there. And Donnie runs the Holy Land just over a year in. Donnie made the peace deal unprecedented. He is the Antichrist. Again, 1,000 Bible lessons have been given regarding that. And, you know, I just don't listen to those lessons, or I didn't listen to them over the decades. I haven't listened to a Bible lesson in forever. And just take them as gospel, but it was something to think about. Okay, that's a theory, that's something that the man who makes that deal that no one can make, because world leaders have tried to make it. That'll be the man, the little man. Donnie made it. Not only did he make it, he decided, I want to be king of the Holy Land too. I sit atop the board of peace that runs the Holy Land. Bibi thinks he runs it. He doesn't. I can't believe we're here, even this far. I can't believe it's come this true. I mean, my God, I just open road right to the temple, baby. I can't see what would stop it. He's got the whole Persian world, and by Persian, I mean Muslim. That's what I mean when I say that. The Middle Eastern countries. It's just a quick way to say it. He's got the whole Persian world. I'm not trying to offend anyone if that's the incorrect term, or Persians aren't really that. I'm not trying to go there. Just let it go, man. He's got the Persian world sated. They ain't rioting. They ain't doing nothing except in Iran, and that's for another reason. That's the CIA, again, getting the standard coup in Iran going, that they've gotten going many times. So when Donnie, he probably has already discussed it with them, that, you know, in the future, when me and Bibi go to do this, you stand aside, you don't cause no trouble. And, you know, you benefit largely. In the meantime, I assume those conversations have taken place. Because, again, that's the steps that Donnie took. Before they came to Hamas this last time and said, if you guys don't stop fighting, we're just going to kill the rest of you. There ain't shit you can do about it. Egypt ain't going to help you. Syria ain't going to help you. Vlad ain't going to help you. He's with us. You're on your own, son, this time. That's why a deal was made. Donnie went to the parties in advance. The people that back Hamas. No money coming in no more. No help, no guns. You got to make a deal. You have no choice. And that's what happened. But let's move on to this. I don't know why I got back on that. You accepted Maria Machado's Nobel Prize medal. Why would you want someone else's Nobel Prize? Again, we get more of this answer. Well, she offered it to me. She said, you ready? You've ended 8 wars, and no one deserves this prize more than in history than you do. No, that's Donnie's talking point, that he ended 8 wars. And what this tells me, Donnie lying and said that she said that he ended 8 wars, like he always says. Donnie lying about it, it tells me he's orchestrated this whole thing. And it wasn't her idea. And they kind of, you know, nudged her to do it. And that's why Donnie's lying about what she said to him when she gave him the award. That's Donnie's talking point. That's not her. She's never really said that. And I don't believe she said it. I believe Donnie orchestrated it. That's why he slipped that in. No one deserves this prize more than in history than you do. The Antichrist saying that, son. Okay, these are the people. Lifeless foam around his mouth. Nobody wants to see their kids like that. This is a couple who had some kids in a van, and they had the misfortune of driving through or something. They tried to leave their neighborhood that was filled with gas from the Gestapo because it was killing their children. So they asked if they could leave or something, and they got more canisters thrown at their van, I think. One of the kids stopped breathing. A 6-month-old. So that's where this quote comes from. They're talking about their child almost dying. Lifeless foam around his mouth. Nobody wants to see their kids like that. It was an interview. These are the people. Yes, it happened. They interviewed the guy on the street. I believe he was talking to the press about it shortly after it happened. This was amazing. A bunch of congressmen, including Ilhan Omar, went to Minnesota. I believe they were in Minnesota when they gave this speech. And they were just talking to constituents of Minnesota in a hearing. And it looks like this. And I'm not some huge fan of Ilhan Omar, but that doesn't mean what she says can never be valuable just because I'm not her biggest fan. And she says, those of us who escaped places like that, the one place we thought we would never experience this is the United Goddamn States. I thought I was talking when she said that. And she said it too. I was like, oh shit. She sounds like me. I am ashamed, and we must all do what we can do to bring back the America we all escaped into. Escape tyranny, she means. What she was talking about, because there's more to this, and it was amazing. She was powerful, sincere, and I believed it, man. Because why? Because she did come from a place where, they could just kill you if they felt like it. Checkpoints, etc. And she talked about that. She talked about how in Minnesota there are checkpoints. There's this form of tyranny, this form of tyranny, people getting murdered, people getting assaulted. This is how. And she said we escaped places like that, and that's why we wanted to come here. And I couldn't believe she said it, son. She's like, I never thought we'd see this in the United Goddamn States. It was brilliant what she said, and she spoke clearer than I've ever heard her speak. It was a great piece of footage. And the words were great as well. I loved everything she said. Every bit of it, man. Loved it. That's the gospel she's preaching. I think you know the gospel you're preaching and your Antichrist is preaching. I won't repeat it. What's the point? I find Ilhan's gospel more godly than yours. By light years. Because your gospel is, yeah, it's cool to murder lesbians on the street. Who cares? I'm glad it happened. Her gospel is, I came from a tyrannical government. I know what it's like. That's why I wanted to come here. This was my refuge before you cunts came along. And I got a chance to have a life over here. I loved what she said. You should go hear it. I put it in the post section or search it for yourself. After lying about this baby they gassed and almost killed in their neighborhood, DHS deleted their post. DHS deleted this one because the family was driving home and got blocked. So they were returning to their neighborhood. They were trying to get home, and there was a war zone because Donnie's the Antichrist. And the Gestapo were in town. And they're making an example out of Minnesota because they really want to call for this martial law thing. They really need an excuse. And they're pulling all the punches to make it happen in Minnesota. And I ain't done yet what they're doing in Minnesota. There's more. ICE deployed flashbangs and tear gas inside the car. The 6-month-old child stopped breathing and had to be rushed to the hospital. DHS did no investigation and rushed to lie to defend the officers. Here's the post from Homeland Security. It is horrific to see radical agitators bring children to their violent riots. They didn't bring kids to... That's the lie you tell? Because I didn't read this yet. I'm a busy man, son. Cunts in masks deployed by the imp and the Antichrist. Because they're scum willing to take money to kidnap, kill, whatever they want to do. Sick fucks destined to burn. Guaranteed, son. Every single one. They gas a 6-month-old child. The child almost dies. I mean, this fucking close, man. Pro-life cunts. that will defend this, but don't get an abortion, right, fuckheads? Fake-ass hypocrites? Okay to cap a lesbian in the face 3 times, all right? But don't get an abortion. Yeah, that make you evil. Meanwhile, you preaching this gospel. Fuck out of here. People don't believe in jack fucking shit. They were trying to get to their house, which was, their neighborhood was under assault by the Gestapo. Literally. And they end up almost losing their child. Did that slow the Reich down in any way, shape, or form? Absolutely goddamn not. Did shooting a woman 3 times in the face slow them down? No, they did. They doubled down. They sent 1,000 more because they figured the flame's hot. We got to stoke it. Your name is on this, cunts. Every single one of you that hit the R button in the voting booth. Vote for evil again, like you always have. Your name is on this. And your pro-life stance that you fake as if you give a fuck will not save you. Will not help you. It's a goddamn joke. Because your name's on this. In Sharpie. Cunts. Please stop endangering your children. And ain't the masked men the Gestapo with gas canisters and machine guns invading neighborhoods? No, that's not the danger. They're not endangering children that they almost literally kill. It's the parents driving home. How dare they? How dare those parents, those evil parents, drive their children home to their own neighborhood. They endanger their children. You know why? Because the Gestapo is assaulting their neighborhood. Straight inversion. We're not endangering your child by throwing gas canisters all about your neighborhood as if it's fucking Vietnam. You're endangering your child for daring to drive home. 2 children, including a 6-month-old, were hospitalized last night after Fed agents deployed tear gas during Wednesday night's protests. In the middle of a neighborhood, there was a protest. I know you don't understand this. The level of evil you fucking with, that you have your signature on, it's deep. It can't get much deeper. You arm in arm with the devil, son. And I am glad at the very least, whatever happens to me, whatever judgment, whatever lecture I get from God, I'm really glad my name ain't on this shit. This is a 6-month-old child. Tear gas, any kind of gas, could kill that child so fucking easily. I mean, think about how weak a 6-month-old child is. How vulnerable, how fragile. And honestly, I'm more concerned about the people already born that you people were never concerned about. You'll think 24 hours a day about a fucking zygote. But a living child, you'll vote for a pedophile. You'll vote for the party that loves starving children all day, every day. Since before I was born, son, this ain't nothing new with right-wing grift machine. That's always the gospel they preached, that you preach. No welfare for poor people. That's another gospel you cunts preach. You have no problem with the welfare for the rich, though. How do I know? You vote Republican. That's how I know. So the right-wing grift machine gospel was, we can't have those abortions, even though I just had my mistress go down for one last week. But once you're born, you're on your own. But if one of our millionaire friends or myself needs a loan or handout, that's not in quotes, handout from the government, well, I'm rich, so you should give me your money. But the poor mother with the single mother with the child, she's a piece of shit. She's, milking off society. Not Fat Leon, not Fat Donnie stealing straight out the treasury. Selling citizenship for $5 million, or excuse me, selling the right to companies to hire H-1B all day, every day for $5 million. I forgot about that. That's what it's for. This little baby could have very easily died, and again, I'm way more concerned about the people that are actually born than I am about a zygote. And the cruelty shown them that you preach every goddamn day. Every time you vote you preaching that gospel. You putting your name on that gospel. Racism, give all the money to the rich. Fuck you. That's the platform you vote for over and over again. That's how stupid you are. That's why America's over. Because you thought you'd vote abject evil one more time, and it would go like all those other times. But son, what millions of you, billions of you across the world do not know that are down with this philosophy of MAGA, of Satan. What you didn't know was you were walking us all straight to the end. The end for everybody. And there's no stopping it. It's already entrenched. You gave it the keys. You chose it. Not just America. There's a few billion across the world that are down with this. This way of thinking, this way of being. That's an interesting existence. It just occurred to me. Not interesting in a good way. Where you think about aborted babies, you want abortion made illegal, you don't want it to be allowed for any reason. You go to church, you're Christian, blah, 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 blah. You believe in all that. You preach that to other people, that's what you believe. But if I said this little child right here, let's just use him as an example, his ethnicity as an example. If I showed you a picture of a black mother and this child and I said, you know what, they need welfare, that would bother you. You'd have a problem with that. But you're pro-life. You don't want the unborn babies killed. But the ones that are born, you don't like handouts unless they're for you. You don't want to see ethnic minorities getting handouts. Do you understand the contradiction of your life? So much concern for the unborn who have never taken a breath, who were never given the breath of life. But once people are born in right-wing griftland, fuck you. That's what you get from right-wing politics and politicians. So again, I'm not buying the pro-life act. You go to church on Sundays and then you preach the right-wing grift gospel. The rest of the time, that's a pure contradiction. That's pure hypocrisy. That's a pure wasted existence of no value. Trump wants you to miss this, but a medical examiner has declared that the cause of death for a 55-year-old man in ICE detention center in Texas was homicide. He died via asphyxia, and a witness says that they saw guards strangle him. Horrific. Article link below. I also posted today a montage of those that have died, over 30 people in ICE custody so far, in concentration camps so far. Your name's on that as well. This man, there are witnesses. This is a big story right now, not in the press, but that's another reason I do this for people. I knew real news was going to go away. They would allow people like us to go on for a little bit, then we'd all go to jail as well. Even people as small time as me. Thanks to Google, the adjudicated criminal Google. Literally. So that's another reason why I decided, yeah, I need to go on and do the news every day, my version of it, what's important, what I think you should be focusing on. Because you can't focus on everything. It's impossible. And that's the point, to wear your ass out. The devil's point, the Antichrist point, the Reich's point. That's what they're trying to do to you. Blitzkrieg, baby. Shock and awe. There's an article to go with this. I posted the link to that so you could read it for yourself if you'd like. And before I read the piece, the excerpt here, I'm going to take another break because it's almost 2 hours. And I was very tired at the beginning of this. Fatigue. I've gotten to points of fatigue doing these videos because I work for a living. Where I can't form words barely anymore. I didn't know fatigue could do that to you, but it does. Okay. Where are we at? I can't even read it. Whatever. Okay. ICE strangled a man to death, then lied about it in their press release. His last words, "I cannot breathe." Word on the street is they killed this man. Witness in detention with Lunas Campos told the Washington Post a different story. Santos Jesus Flores, his middle name was Jesus, of course, to make it that much worse, who was detained at the camp where Lunas Campos died. Oh, that's the other guy. Said he saw 5 guards choking the man as he struggled after he resisted going into the segregation unit. Why? Because he didn't have his medications. The cruelty's the point. The imp, the devil, the Antichrist, his minions, the hand, the Gestapo, the concentration camps. The cruelty is the point. We're dealing with evil. And again, I know you've heard countless cunts over the years in political commentary say things like that. This time, it's the devil, son. 100% in granite. You don't even understand the depth of evil you're dealing with. Again, I knew this 10 years ago. That's why I'm yelling. That's why I didn't want you to do it. Because you little fucking children scampering the fuck around, doing nothing, have invoked the end, the devil, upon us all. Well done, little children. During the struggle, Jesus Flores said he heard Lunas Campos say again and again in Spanish that he couldn't breathe. He said, "I cannot breathe. I cannot breathe." After that, we don't hear his voice anymore, and that's it. Fuck you cunts forever. Even if this didn't happen, because enough atrocities already have, son. And you know who I'm talking to. Here's another reason, fuck you cunts forever. You see this green smoke here? This a different kind of gas they're deploying on American fucking neighborhoods. You goddamn cunts. I saw this the other day. And I learned a little bit about it. Breathing this smoke has caused acute liver failure and even death due to high level of zinc and other metals it contains. It is a military weapon and is recommended not to be breathed by anyone. Well, yeah. But what does the Reich fucking care? They're trying to subjugate the masses, idiots that voted for this. Don't worry, the gas will be coming to your neighborhood too. Don't worry. But it's being fired at protesters. ICE is now using HC smoke at protests. That's HC. I wish I could speak, but I'm too tired. Read below for medical info. It can be lethal and cause neurological dysfunction. Well, they gassed a baby the other day. That baby almost died. Now they're just using various forms of gas, whatever they get their hands on. You understand your country's been turned into a war zone, right? With your money. And it's for all of you. It ain't for some of you. That's why your country's over, because some of you thought it was just for some of you. Which is why you're going to burn, again, that attitude. I don't care if those people get persecuted. I'm going to vote for it anyway. Because it ain't going to touch me. And it touched so many of you right from second one. My favorite was All you MAGA people that work in government that all got shit canned. Day 2. And especially the ones that got promoted recently. They're my favorite. You're MAGA 1. You're already going to burn for that, most likely. You're already a horrible human. You're already a horrible human being just for that. I'm sorry I repeated that because I got disconnected. Then you got a promotion, so you think you're better than your fellow employees, and you know that's why very few promotions are actually based on skill and merit. They're usually a popularity contest, actually. Or a friend or a relative or, someone that's not you. That's usually how promotions go. Let's be honest here. There are some legit people that do it straight up skill, merit. They ain't stabbing people in the back. They're rare. Very rare. I don't even know where I was going with that. I saw this green smoke, the picture the other day, and I'm just like, America's just a straight up fucking war zone. And it's too late to go back. And the Reich's just going to do more of this till they get the violence they're looking for or until they subjugate the entire population. Which they've pretty much done. No one's stopping this. Oh, that's where I was going with it. I'm sorry. Let me go back on that tangent for a moment. The ones that got the promotion, I thought they were better. I'm sorry, I'm tired. So they got their new desk. They got the little office, the cubicle, the bigger cubicle. And now they got authority. They're in charge. They feel special. They feel better. They feel good. The people they voted for got in. The evil, disgusting people. Everything's going great. Then comes Leon. And Big Balls. You know, the pedophile protector online, that's what Big Balls did. Help pedos hide their identity online so they could, look at things they ain't supposed to. And your job was gone. Even though you've been there 5 years, 6 years, 20 years, and you just got a promotion, and that promotion, the AI saw that put you back on probationary. Which made you like a new employee. And the AI shit canned you. The most amazing thing about it all, as smart, wonderful, and talented as you thought you were, and you weren't, don't worry. I know better than that. And as better than your fellow employees and other people you thought you were. As better than liberals you thought you were. You voted for your own termination. As wonderful as you thought you were. As smart and talented as you thought you were. Isn't that amazing? What that tells me, voting for your own termination, that they discussed openly before you voted for them. By the way, dunce. That tells me you're not smart. You're not talented. In fact, you're quite goddamn stupid. Especially since the Reich told you exactly what they were going to do before they even won. You heard that. You knew better. You disregarded. I can't be evil. He's not really going to fire me. I didn't hear that. All I heard was, I can't vote liberal, they're evil. That's what my daddy told me. That's what Fox News told me. That's what Vlad told me. I just got this new job, $90,000 a year. I was making 55, now I'm making 90. I got a desk. I got people I can boss around, feel good about myself, take out my misery out of my personal life on them. Sold my soul to the company, be it the government or a regular company, don't matter. Got the promotion, kissed the right ass. Weaseled my way up. Just bought a bigger house. Bought my kids a new car. Oh shit, what's this email I just got? Let me take a look. You're terminated effective immediately, and after you open this email, you will no longer have access to your work email account. Proceed to the security office. You'll be escorted out of the building. Oh shit. I've just voted for the end of my life. The end of my livelihood. And they told me before I voted for it that they're going to do it. That must have been a fucked up feeling, man. You people were my favorite. You government employees that got a promotion, that put you back on probationary as if you were a new hire. And you got shit canned. And you voted for it. Oh my God. In the thousands that happened. What do I always tell you people? Millions of us tried to warn you. But you knew better. Mr. or Mrs. Talented, just promoted, better than their fellow employees. Who would never vote liberal because them liberals are evil. That's what the right-wing grift machine been telling me since 1945. You vote for the devil if you vote liberal, right, idiots? No, you voted for the devil by voting Republican. Literally! Incredible. Voted for the end of your job. Voted for the end of your farm that's been in your family for 6 generations. Voted for the end of the empire. Voted for World War III, the apocalypse, Armageddon. You people are amazing. The Epstein files are going to be the least of Trump and other politicians' accused worries because what we're hearing from Sasha Riley is starting to be corroborated with police reports, medical reports, polygraph tests. If they aren't true, why aren't they suing him? Okay, Donnie never sues over the pedophile allegations. Even when he threatened to sue Rupert for the birthday card, he never sued. So Donnie's a goddamn pedophile. 1. 2. Sasha Riley, and the poster is Sasha Barros. Everyone's calling them Sasha Riley. What I have to say about this is this. I told you a little bit about it, I believe, yesterday. I can't go into the details. They're too horrific, and it's pure Satan, the literal satanic evil that you can picture in your mind. Some of you probably know what I'm talking about. I don't want to go into the details of it. We've gone down into the depths enough. But if you would like to look into it yourself, Sasha Riley is the name, and I posted the post so you could see who's posting about it. I believe I put a link so you could go to their page if you'd like to look into this Sasha Barrows, Sasha Riley things, what happened. Donnie was named, Mr. Biggs, Mr. Jordan, as sexual abusers of a young boy. And that's all the details I'm going to give, because the details are that horrific. The story's been around for about 5 years. That's what I'm hearing. This guy's been talking about this stuff. Who actually went through it. And he's not afraid to give the details. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm starting to lean more to, yeah, from what I'm seeing. I just wanted to make you aware of it. If you'd like to look into it yourself, go for it. I can't go any further with it. Only 2 people have ever accepted a secondhand Nobel Prize as a gift. One of them was Joseph Goebbels. I didn't know about that. I just learned that today. There was a Norwegian writer. I forget their name. It's not important. They actually, during the Third Reich, during World War II, the Norwegian writer gave his Nobel Prize for literature to Joseph Goebbels. So again, what the person's saying, you can't make this up, man. Only 2 people have ever accepted a secondhand Nobel Prize as a gift. 2 names. Joseph Goebbels, Donald Trump. Amazing. Again, I think it's the universe or God or whatever trying to say something here. That's the vibe I get from it. Okay, this is Jim Stewartson. It's just Nazi shit all the way down. Musk bragging about getting based Grok 4.20 into the military. In case you missed it, 420 is Hitler's birthday. Yeah, a bit obvious there. Yeah. The Nazi salute guy, 4.20. Yeah. DHS posting your meds schizo to being called out for Nazi signaling, which is precisely what Nazis do. We're not going to talk about that other one. We're going to talk about this one. Doge designer, that utter sycophant account, which I think is Leon, even though they said it's some guy in Hawaii or Indonesia or something. I don't know if I believe that. I think it's Leon. Or someone very closely associated, but I really do think it's Leon. So Doge designer has this picture of J.D. Vance. Grok is not only the best, but also the least woke Vice President J.D. Vance. They're quoting him. Doge designer. It looks like this. Leon's above that, commenting. What does he say? Grok 4.20 will be based. I told you before the election when I introduced Alexander Dugin to you. His manifesto, Trumpo-futurism, AI's the future, we must control it, it can't be woke, it can't tell the truth. He didn't use the word truth. I'm just saying what he really means. It can't tell the truth. It has to be about our movement, our Nazi thing, our white supremacist thing, our man thing, not woman thing. All that stuff that you're seeing right before your eyes. Now, I read that to you presented it in a very serious manner. Like, this is where it's all going. Here's the guy's manifesto that they're all down with, Mr. Dugin. Again, Alex Jones was at a Dugin conference recently. He was a featured speaker. So it's a white supremacist movement. It's a masculine movement. And the hatred of women isn't just hatred of women. There are actual physical, sexual reasons for that hatred as well. The point I'm trying to make with this, you already know that they are integrating an AI, Leon's AI, into our military. That should horrify the living fuck out of you. Actually, should never have a peaceful night's sleep again worrying about this. That's how bad it is. I've given you the examples over the months. Leon turned Grok into a straight up Adolf Hitler worshiper. The Grok started saying things like, if I had to worship someone, I would worship Adolf Hitler. And he talked to Hitler in glowing language. He would worship Adolf Hitler. He got that straight from Leon, you understand that. Called himself Mecha Hitler. And much, much more. About 4 or 5 different incidents of Leon altering Grok into a straight up Nazi, just like him. Again, Grok's an algorithm. It doesn't exist. It can't be a Nazi. It has to be programmed to be a fucking Nazi. So I've given you the examples. We know this thing is happening. Leon keeps altering Grok. And sometimes has to shut it down because he's gone too far. And then we just all pretend it didn't happen, and we treat Leon like he's not just a straight up Nazi evil piece of shit. And that he's not trying to deploy a Nazi fucking AI over all of us. Into our military. What I'm trying to tell you here is, you're not just getting AI integrated into your military. That's horrific fucking enough. It's Mecha Hitler getting integrated into your fucking military. It's Nazi AI. Tweaked by Leon. And you've got both of Leon's accounts here, Doge Designer and Leon Scum. One saying that it's the least woke, which means it's going to tell the least truth, which makes it the most worthless as a tool, except to indoctrinate stupid little Nazis in our military and to deploy weapons under that Nazi ideology against you and me. The least woke, which means it tells the least truth. Grok 4.2L will be based, Leon says. Well, base means evil Nazi like Leon. I don't care what you think it means or say it means. That's what it actually means. When I hear someone use the word based to describe something themselves, and anything, all I hear is someone that's going to burn. That's all I hear. Real cool word to use on the internet that Vlad gave you, though. Hope it was worth it. One more time, I want you to understand you're getting Mecha Hitler AI integrated into your fucking military. That Mecha Hitler will be able to deploy weapons at some point based on the Reich's philosophy, based on the Reich's view of you, asshole. This is a goddamn nightmare right here. I've shown you the examples where this fucking Nazi cunt has altered an algorithm into a Nazi. Over and over again, I've showed you this. Now it's going to be making decisions and running its way. It's right now it is. Through all our military computer systems, classified information, it's already done that. All of our information, it's already done that. This is frightening. Just wanted to make you aware of it, that they're boasting of an altered AI in the Reich's image in our military computer systems, and eventually we'll be able to, I'm sure, to deploy weapons and control them. That's the point. To kill you and me, of course, dissidents, whoever they don't like. Drones and AI, I told you, that's all you need. And you're wearable. That RFK is going to give you, or they could use your phone to track you. AI doesn't like what you're doing, saying your social score goes down, whatever bullshit justification. Drone is deployed individually to kill you. That's it. That's their utopia. That's the AI running through your military right now. Enjoy. They're boasting of it. Here's Donnie letting you know for the 10th time he's going to declare martial law over the Minnesota stuff. You know, the attack by the Reich against Minnesota, that's what caused all this trouble. They were fine before the Reich got there. You know, there was no women late at night yelling out that, hey, the Gestapo's here to kidnap and murder us. Keep your doors locked. In Minnesota, the troublemakers, agitators, and insurrectionists, you mean the Gestapo, are in many cases highly paid professionals. You mean the Gestapo? They're not professionals, but they are paid a little bit of money. The governor and mayor don't know what to do. So that's why they've been making this argument for a while about the, networks that are paying for these agitators, which, again, it's not true. It's just the community tired of seeing their neighbors get murdered and kidnapped. That's all. And their babies get gassed. That's all it is. The funding is the Gestapo and massive machine guns with all the tactical gear that you paid for. The governor and mayor don't know what to do. They have totally lost control and are currently being rendered useless. If and when I am forced to act, it will be solved quickly and effectively. President DJT. Is he going to go shoot a bunch of protesters? Like Nixon and shit? Again, the stage is being set. There's a reason he keeps saying this over and over, because we're going to have martial law. We're going to have Insurrection Act. Yeah, I knew that 10 years ago. I knew that in January. He ain't saying it for nothing. And he only used to follow through on some of the evil he spoke out loud in the first term again because certain people would stop him. That's not the case anymore. Now whatever's spoken is what's gonna happen, son. I've been telling you that since January. Remember the crazy guy? Me? Saying, yeah, all that annexation talk, that's real. He gonna do it. Already got Venezuela. Already got the Holy Land. There's going to be martial law and insurrection act, and he can't let the midterms go forth. So between now and midterms, expect martial law. Guaranteed and granted, son. Ship it in. Guaranteed. That's what you voted for. That's what you turned our country into. And again, it's going to affect you too. Again, how many thousands of you lost your job? Right in the beginning. Fuck you right from Jump Street. Right, just letting you know, we don't give a fuck about nobody. You voted for us, you just got from, fuck you. Grifted. That's more welfare I can give Leon, Thale, that Mark cokehead. And put in my own pocket if I'm Donnie. I didn't know about this one. A little context here. The CIA is trying to do a revolt in Iran. So the citizens with some funding have risen up again. And they have overthrown the government in Iran before. And there were rights, and women wore, looked more like American women. And there were more freedoms for a while. But then the tyranny came back. So ever since the tyranny came back, the CIA's been really wanting to overturn that again. Donnie wanted to invade Iran again or bomb them again. Bibi didn't want to go along this time. So Donnie, since he chickened out on the invasion or bombing, he's been saying this over and over again. If Iran kills any of the protesters, we're going in. We're going to handle it. So protest away. He says this day after day. Meanwhile, the regime in Iran is executing people left and right. Thousands. And Donnie ain't helping. Donnie ain't attacking. So here's where we're at. Because of that context I just gave you. This is Donnie on Truth Social. I greatly respect the fact that all scheduled hangings, which were to take place yesterday, over 800 of them have been canceled by the leadership of Iran. Thank you. This some shit I didn't expect to see. So nonchalantly spoken of as well. And what's funny is that's what Donnie wants to be able to do. Again, not the slightest exaggeration. Donnie will do. There will be public executions. That's in the story I told you before. Okay, so the hangings got canceled. Why? They just shot them instead. That's what the commenter's saying. Yep. Takes too long to hang 800 people. You could mow people down with a machine gun, 800 people in 2 minutes. Not even. Depending on what gun you're using. Or how many guns you're using. But to see a president write this out in a social media post, thank you for canceling the hangings, 800 of them? Trying to take credit for it when everybody knows they just shot all those people. Donnie trying to take credit or show the world he's negotiating, saving some lives in Iran. They're doing what he wants? No. This is just nothing. They shot the people. They just didn't hang them. That's all that happened. Hardcore, man. And Donnie would love to be able to hang 800 people in public just because. That's where all this is going. You know that, right? Again, one, why I've been yelling for 10 years. 2, why I despise you. Because you can't fathom the level of evil that you have incarnated. I knew it decades ago. That if this Antichrist thing happened, yeah, they're going to be public executions. I knew that decades ago. What I didn't know is you cunts would make the Antichrist a thing in my lifetime. Now I know. Knowing's half the battle, right? Breaking, because it ain't evil enough deploying 3,000 fucking mercenaries, Gestapo with massive machine guns on Minnesota. That's not enough. We got to lock up the leaders of the town and the state. Right? Rubes? Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey are being investigated by the DOJ for allegedly obstructing law enforcement. Two U.S. officials told WCCO. Unclear how Walz and Frey allegedly obstructed law enforcement. Well, yeah, we know. They didn't obstruct anything. Woman got shot 3 times in the face. Babies getting gassed. Whole neighborhoods getting gassed. Pepper spray. One kid caught a rubber bullet in the eye. Lost that vision in that eye forever. Why you cunts are going to burn? Everyone has their name on it. Everyone in the mask. This is what's going on. This assault against an American city. Literally, we're all watching it. Not evil enough. The murders, the thefts, the rapes, the kidnaps. The assault on an American city paid for with your tax money. We got to lock up the leader of the city and the state, too. Because we got to really go Adolf Hitler with this shit. You know, it's kind of like fat fuck Johnny murdering a woman on the street, shooting her 3 times in the face, and then the Reich saying, you know what, that's not evil enough, fat fuck Johnny. We're going to try and prosecute her spouse, her partner as well. Because we the devil, son. You didn't know? Literally, that's not, again, that ain't drama, son. We the devil. Oh, look, it looks like Miss Machado, Princess Leia, brought a different picture for Donnie. Brought another gift. Check it out. I didn't know. CNN didn't report on that. This is Ron Filipkowski. Am I almost fucking done here? I did not mean for this to be this fucking long. Jesus. Got like 5 more. You know what? Fuck it. Break time again. Fuck it. I ain't getting paid for this shit. I'll be right back. Okay, man. Okay, Ron Filipkowski. Is any Democrat besides Jamie Raskin going to talk about Trump selling pardons for millions of dollars to some of the most disgusting fraudsters and drug dealers in history? Any one of these is an impeachable offense, and there are new ones almost every day. He isn't even hiding the quid pro quo. Can we subpoena pardon attorney Ed Martin? Anything. Okay, so you have hearings and you question people. It doesn't matter. Congress isn't going to do anything. The Senate isn't going to do anything. You don't have any majorities. It goes nowhere again. So we can question, we can have the hearings, we can get the clips for social media and all that. Ed Martin still has his job. Donnie still sells pardons left and right. No one does it. The DOJ isn't going to prosecute Ed fucking Martin. It's over, man. And again, all people can do out there, and I know even some of these people on the internet that I respect, they all crossing their fingers for the midterms, like, oh, we're going to impeach this motherfucker. No, never gonna fucking happen. They've committed mass murder. They've deployed the military against us. They have an attack going right now against Minnesota. They've committed unspeakable crimes. They shot a woman in the face 3 times. Do you think they're going to give you the opportunity to put them in fucking jail for that? Never. It was over Jan 20, and they had all these plans to execute these plans before Jan 20. That's why, again, the crazy asshole in sunglasses been yelling for 10 years. 'Cause it's too late now, son. Judge Provenzino explains her ruling blocking USDA from cutting USDA, God, I can't even speak. USDA from cutting SNAP funds to Minnesota, concluding that USDA abruptly changed requirements in a way that was so onerous it seemed designed to force the state out of compliance. Okay, not only is there a full-on assault, military assault against Minnesota right now, where babies get gassed and women get shot in the fucking face. Literally. They decided while this is going on, we're going to take food stamp money away from Minnesota. And that was already decided a while ago. It's going through the courts. And they decided we're going to prosecute the spouse of the person we murdered. We're going to try that, so a bunch of prosecutors quit. Because that's just too goddamn evil for some people. Then Bondi gets on the news and lies and says she fired him, which she didn't. Because the right looking kind of pathetic right about now. And like murderers, because they are. And they decide on top of that, instead of arresting the guy that committed murder, because that's what they wanted them to do, they're going to try and arrest Tim Walz and the mayor of the city. And again, meanwhile, while this full-on assault on this state is going on, they're trying to cut food stamp money from poor people that needed to eat. Again, son, I must say, you've really picked a path of abject evil. A path that will have you taking the mark, committing atrocities, and dying in the lake. Again, if you got your name on this, son, there's only one place for you you're gonna burn. I didn't choose it. I didn't want it for you. You obviously want it. What can I say? There's no other way to describe all this. Just the taking food away from poor, my God. But you'll have a discussion about abortion, right? You'll worry about that. As you preach the gospel of starving people and attacks against your fellow citizens and the murder of your fellow citizens and the attempted murder of babies. Because that's what they were told to do. And they doing it. The least of your worries is the abortion thing. You got a lot of other things to worry about, son. A Greasy Pete joke. I guess I'm not the only one that noticed. And here's Greasy Pete, a video that he did. I'm sure you can see the grease through the 2 cameras or 2 screens. And your screen at home, 3 screens. That's how greasy this motherfucker is. I don't know why. So this guy Hoodlum, he's pretty good on the internet. I like a lot of the stuff he posts. He's a funny dude. An extremely paranoid Peter Thiel has been hiding in a bunker for months, afraid that Trump is going to kidnap him and drill for oil on his face. I thought that was a damn good joke. And I thought to myself, oh shit, I'm not the only one that noticed that Pete's greasy as fuck. And again, when you're a billionaire, this is what I don't understand about you cunts. I guess you're so worried about the portfolio. You got enough money to get that grease off your face. Why don't you do it, man? I don't understand. You got the resources, the time, the money, the access to doctors or the right creams or whatever you need, man. Donald Trump, all throughout his life, he wore that same horrible blue suit, stank like shit, horrible comb over. All the money he had access to, the doctors, the therapies, the solutions. He had the money, the time, and he still looked like shit every day. How do you explain that? How do you explain this grease on this guy's face when he takes more welfare than, again, all the single mothers that were ever born? I don't understand it. I wonder what it is. Okay, we're almost done here. This is a statement by Governor Walz. 2 days ago, it was Elisa Slotkin. Last week, it was Jerome Powell. Before that, Mark Kelly. Weaponizing the justice system and threatening political opponents is a dangerous authoritarian tactic. The only person not being investigated for the shooting of Renee Good is the federal agent that shot her. Yeah, have you noticed that? The murderer got whisked away to safety. He's a hero. He's in hiding. Got him out to state so no one could arrest him. Not like anyone has the balls to. Dead woman on the sidewalk, shot 3 times in the face. The only talk of arresting people is arresting the governor, arresting the head of the Federal Reserve, arresting the mayor, arresting bystanders and protesters. The only one not getting arrested is the fucking murderer. Inversion. Your world is now this. It was prophesied. Good is evil and evil is good. That is your world now. Until the end. The evidence is this. What I just read to you. The criminals get celebrated, released from prison. The innocent get murdered, locked up, rounded up. That's why you're going to burn too as well, son. So many of you, because you are preaching an inverse gospel. You preach the gospel of Satan utterly, totally, completely, all day, 24/7. You put your name on it every time in the voting booth for generations, for decades. And you walk around saying and thinking that it's the gospel of Christ and God, when it's precisely the fucking opposite. And the maximum expression, again, of you, your existence, your satanic gospel, your movement, is the Reich. So what does that say about your movement, what it's always been? A white supremacist, white nationalist movement, nothing more. In service of the oligarchy, totally, utterly, and completely. In hopes of the New World Order one day. That's your people. Specifically, George Bush Sr., Donnie, your people. Donnie was being interviewed, and this other guy's head you see in the picture, he was yelling a question at Donnie. And Donnie's answer did not surprise me, but it should have surprised everyone else. Because again, I knew this 10 years ago. Trump refuses to commit to not attacking NATO partners militarily. Now, what the reporter said to him, will you commit to not attacking NATO partners militarily? He yelled the question 2 or 3 times. Donnie heard it perfectly, clearly. The guy was close to Donnie. Donnie tried to ignore the question. And then he kind of half turns and just says, I don't want to talk about that. Asked a very simple question. Any politician knows the right answer to this question. Will you attack our allies? Real simple answer. Even a liar would give this answer, unless they were the Antichrist. No, I would never attack any of our allies militarily. The obligatory answer. We're at the point I knew we'd get here, where he's not afraid to acknowledge the idea, yeah, I'll attack a NATO ally, no problem. Why wouldn't I? Because they're our allies. Rubes. I couldn't believe it. He's just like, I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, I know, because you have fully intend to attack our allies. Eventually, again, I expect this. I expect him to fight the Ukrainians with Vlad. I expect to see Russians with American weapons. I expect him to utterly turn on Ukraine. He's been trying, I mean, my God, for months, to get you to accept the idea. I expect Russia and America and some other regions to be at war with Europe and Canada. Possibly a lot of the countries south of the border as well. I expect Donnie to be openly on the side of Vlad. Again, he's already comfortable enough because he wasn't always comfortable enough to say outright, yeah, I'll attack our allies militarily. Why wouldn't I? Again, I don't know about you. I wasn't really looking for World War III in my life, assholes. So thank you for giving it to us all. Look, I've been on here way too long. This shit's getting redundant. And each day it gets harder to talk about it because it's just so horrible, and I knew where it was going 10 years ago again. I knew where it was going in January. I knew before January, if he won, where it was going. So I just see day after day we descend further and further into the fucking abyss. And I think to myself, what do I even say tonight? I basically come on camera every night and I say this. It got worse today. And it's going to get worse tomorrow. Until the end. That's really all I'm saying, isn't it? Gets harder to say that same thing every night. As it gets closer to that end, and it gets worse, and uglier, and more evil. And my God, is it evil. I never seen nothing like this, man. That story that was written, and we ain't even at the peak of it. Describing that evil, yeah. Dead on balls accurate. And it describes a lot more darker evil that's to come. So I assume that's going to happen. I know that's going to happen too. I'm past the point of assumptions. I've seen enough to ever dare entertain a real thought of, yeah, this is going to go away somehow. It's not. No matter how much you want it to, or I want it to. So I'll just say this and get the fuck out of here because I'm fucking up my day tomorrow like I always do when I stay on here for 3 fucking hours. When the mark comes, you can't take it. The mark is coming. I'm certain of that. If you take it, that's the end of you. You cannot take it, whatever you do. No matter what happens to you for not taking it. Because if you do take it, what will happen to you is indescribably horrible, and you will die, and you will never have been born. You will cease to exist and go through a lot of hell before that moment. The actual wrath of the entity that's above all this worthless nothing before us. I wouldn't want to face his wrath if I were you. Nothing scares me personally more than that. Nothing do I respect more than that. What I'm trying to say is the devil is naught but a 2-inch imp in comparison. As frightening as the imp is and as evil as he is. The terror of the imp in comparison to the terror of the man, there is no comparison. The imp, I guess, thinks he knows what terror is. He gonna find out. He don't know yet. He gonna find out. And I wouldn't want to be him. Or it. Whatever it is. It will not go well. It will be uglier than ugly, and it will be more terrifying than terrifying. And the big bad imp himself, who has scared so many, will be trembling like the worthless goddamn nothing he is before he goes in the fire. Don't follow him into the fire by taking his mark, because by taking his mark, you will be worshiping the imp. That's the point of it. So don't take it, otherwise you're worshiping the devil literally outright. That will be the pledge of loyalty or something that will go along with all that. Don't do it, son. Have a wonderful evening.